Scanning for audio.
Welcome to the Tin Dog Podcast. This time talking about main range number 218, Order of the Daleks, which has the Sixth Doctor and Constance Clarke meeting up with the Daleks. Oh, how we adore this story. Yes, there are people out there who've been banging on about glass Daleks for longer than you can care to remember. Some people even say there was one in the original Dalek story. To the best of my knowledge, that's incorrect. But there might have been one in the script. Yes, this has a glass Dalek, a stained glass Dalek, with leadwork and, well, some seriously good plotting. Mike Tucker, as everyone knows, I'm an enormous fan of his writing and of his model work. He is the sort of person I would probably want to go down the pub with and just have far too long a chat with. I know I got to interview him at Hooverville, but I think a one-on-one interview would have been just something better. If ever he does get to hear this, he can always email the show and I'll have him on in a heartbeat, especially if he's plugging one of his books. I'm not proud. But that's not what's important. What is important is that this story absolutely rocks. The Doctor and Mrs. Clarke are a brilliant team. The Sixth Doctor is great. He always has been on audio. And you know what? Looking back over the TV stories with grown-up eyes, so much better. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about this particular story. So what's it about? Well, we're here to talk about this particular story. Yes, I know that a lot of people out there are of the opinion that every time the Daleks come back, they should do something new. They should do something more evil or something different. This was the Russell T Davies version of the story. All Dalek stories must have something new. But then I'm with Nick Briggs. In a war film, you want the Nazis to act like Nazis. And in Doctor Who, you want the Daleks to act like Daleks. You don't need them to do new and exciting things. But here you've got both. Yes, you've got your new and exciting things. You've got your stained glass Dalek. You've got the main thrust of the storyline. But you've also got the Daleks basically just being Daleks. They want to take over the universe, and that's what they've always wanted to do. They don't like anybody else. They don't trust anyone, and they are manipulative. And, well, they're still dangerous. Take a Dalek's weapons off him and he's still a Dalek. They will treat everyone else with no respect whatsoever. Because, let's face it, they are still Daleks. So here's the synopsis. In the Galactic Census, idyllic Strellin is recorded as a Grade 3 planet, its inhabitants possessing neither advanced technology nor knowledge of other worlds. Accordingly, it is protected. Landings by off-worlders are strictly prohibited, unless, of course, those off-worlders are officials of the Galactic Census itself, come to investigate the origin of mysterious subspace signals, a signal no native of Strellin could possibly be able to send. Breaking all local bylaws, the time-travelling Doctor and his companion, Mrs Constance Clarke, have only just landed too. But they and the official census officials aren't the only off-worlders to have come here. Inside a nearby monastery, the monks of the reclusive Brotherhood of the Black Petal are guarding a strange and terrible secret, something that might bring disaster not just to the planet, but to every civilised world in the galaxy. Miranda Rayson is just brilliant in this. I will be gutted if they get rid of her. Now, I know there's a whole former companion of the Sixth Doctor coming back, and she'll be in the same story with Mrs Clarke. Now, I'm torn. I'm quite happy to have both of them travel with the Sixth Doctor, because that's not been happening for a long time. the busy TARDIS storylines. But you know what? In this story, you've also got some great, brilliant performances from other members. You've got John Savardin. Yes, I know everyone goes on about him being Fred Elliott in Coronation Street, but this guy was in Blake Seven twice. This guy was in Doctor Who. And you know what? While I was working in Manchester, in the Waterstones on the main street, John came in. And while I was serving him, I was always very polite to serve the famous people normally. And then if I could get away with it afterwards, just say something nice to them. Now, the reason that I stopped doing this, I'll explain in a few moments. But I did say, because it was quite late one evening, that me and my friends had a John Savardin evening where we'd watched all the Blake Sevens and the Doctor Who's he'd been in. And he went, people always remember the Blake Sevens, but nobody ever remembers Waterloo. Now, the guy is absolutely superb in Waterloo, right? That's beside the point. His performances are exemplary. Yes, he played comic relief in Coronation Street. And here he also plays a bit of comic relief, but he also has enough humour and humanity to be a force of nature and to sort these things out. It's glorious. Now, one day when I was in Manchester, I also happened to say to this old lady, who looked very familiar, that she was a particularly brilliant actress. Except, of course, I got it mixed up. She was just some ordinary old lady. And basically, I'd gone up to this old lady and accused her of being Hilda Ogden. At that point, I elected never to do that sort of thing anymore. Learning one's lesson is often a harsh mistress. I've gone off topic. I've rambled. Hooray! I haven't done that for so long. The only issue with this entire story is the casting of Nick Briggs as, well, the head of the monastery. And yes, that is an important piece of casting, but it does kind of lay the foundations fairly heavily. But that's not important. That's a small fly in an otherwise perfect ointment. I have missed Mike Tucker's work in this story, in Big Finish. And welcome back, Mike. It's been a long time. And so, I'll fade away and let you hear the trailer and decide for yourself. So until next time, be seeing you.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions. Doctor Who, Order of the Daleks.
This is Planetary Assessor Malcolm Pendle of the Central Galactic Census Bureau. We've picked up a signal, you see.
A signal? From here?
What kind of signal?
Doctor, you were foolish to return here.
4 strangers approach the gates. I need all the novices to ready arms.
The demons.
We're not demons.
Demons, women, what's the difference?
My brothers, destroy these demons from another world.
These were beings unlike anything we had ever encountered.
See what? What can you see, Gabba? Gabba? Do not move!
Oh no. Please. No. What is it? The Daleks!
But this is terrible news. Terrible. We shall all be killed.
Exterminate!
No!
Once this planet was a Garden of Eden. Soon it'll be nothing more than a Dalek chemical factory.
Soon the Order of the Daleks will reign supreme!
Big Finish. We love stories.
That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.